Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hub World Podcast. Today, we have a very special episode for you. It is a episode of our Super Smash Bros. Special kind of collection here, as well as an episode of our regular podcast, so you can find it on both. And today, I'm joined by many friendly faces from the Hub World. So, my name is Jules, and I am joined by
Mateo,
Gino,
Joe,
and Riley.
So we have a cool concept that actually Gino came up with a little while ago, and we've been saving it. We've had this one in our back pocket for a while, and we had decided early on that we weren't going to do this concept until after the final fighter was announced. So Gino's idea was, what if Sakurai suddenly today was like, we're adding one more character in every single represented franchise in Smash Bros. So we're not looking at predicting Smash 6. Like, this isn't a prediction video. We're saying, like, if today, like, if tomorrow, or if, when, like, after Sora drops, Sakurai just suddenly is like, guess what? We're adding one more character from every franchise. Realistically, who would it be from each franchise? So we're going to go over that. And what we've kind of done is, in past episodes, usually everybody kind of shares their opinions on everything. In sake of time, because we have a lot of people here, we've actually gone ahead and assigned people to each franchise instead, so they'll be the ones responsible for sharing their opinions, and we'll kind of use them as talking points. So you'll have two people sharing their opinions on each franchise, and in some cases, only one person. So is there any rules that we should outline for our listeners or for ourselves?
we actually lumped a bunch of series together as like considered to be retro Nintendo. So that's like Game & Watch, Ice Climbers, and I think Duck Hunt. Is those the only three we lumped into there?
And
So yeah.
ROB.
Oh yes, you're right. So yeah, we just lumped all those in together as retro Nintendo.
Okay, cool.
You mentioned we're doing reverse order.
Yes, so unlike when we did our first episode of the podcast, which we may link to you right now as you are listening, we were predicting Smash 6, and we went in the order of the franchises and when they were introduced into the series. We're going to do reverse order this time. So we're actually going to start from Kingdom Hearts and work our way all the way back to Super Mario Bros. And go from there. So, are we ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I would just like to remind everybody at home, this is not a prediction podcast. We're not predicting Smash 6. We are simply saying at this time, who would likely be the next character, and we're going to go from there. This is also not a most wanted list. This is a who we actually realistically think would be added. And if you guys want to share a bit about how you think they would be added or under what conditions, you totally can, move sets and stuff, but we'll go from there. So, we begin our journey with our latest addition to the Super Smash Bros. Family, Kingdom Hearts. Gino and I will be talking about that one. Gino, do you want to start who you think would be added from Kingdom Hearts?
Jules, it wouldn't be a Kingdom Hearts game if Riku wasn't here. So I would like to nominate Riku. I think it would be a pretty cool way to do things. He would be a little bit more physical than Sora, because Sora's always kind of been like, at least how we perceived him in the trailer here, was like flying around, using magic, and being more kind of like an all-around kind of character. Riku could be a little bit more physical, have that like more confident like pose with his not the Keyblade that he has, but like it would be like that eye sword thing that he had with like the wing on it. That would be pretty cool. It'd be like Kingdom Hearts 1 Riku before he becomes a Keyblade master. I
understand where you're coming from. So, see, when I was thinking about it, I also Riku popped into my head. Because I'm like, well, Riku makes sense. He's kind of the deuteragonist. Roxas also popped into my head, but I'm like, I think I'm also being a bit biased here. As much as I like Roxas, as much as he is a fan favorite character, I don't know. But I ultimately landed on Xehanort. Because as random person on GameFAQs said a couple days ago in the comments section of a Super Smash Bros. Topic, Kingdom Hearts' plot can be boiled down to the fact that everyone is Sora or everyone is Xehanort. And I think Xehanort is the perfect antithesis to Sora. I think having heroes and villains is always great. And Xehanort is clearly a central figure of the series. So much so that even after they said Kingdom Hearts 3 would be the end of the Xehanort saga, the first game post Xehanort saga featured Xehanort as the main character. So I do think that having that villain representation would work much better. And which incarnation of Xehanort they picked? They got quite a few to pick from. I feel
Most
like
of Organization 13.
most of
just
Organization
Xehanort.
13. Everybody's Xehanort at this point. So I think I would go Xehanort.
Yeah. I was gonna say Axel, just as long as it's not Kyrie, because Kyrie's like you don't get to play as Kyrie. Even in games that star Kyrie, you don't get to play as Kyrie.
Yeah, it's true. So I think, are we good to close out Kingdom Hearts?
Yep.
Yeah, I would say.
Okay, sounds good. The next one we're moving into is Tekken. We will let you know that not all of us are experts in all of these series. So Tekken is one of these ones. At least Riley and I are representing this. At least I don't have much knowledge of Tekken, so
I've
please
played a
forgive
bit of
my
it.
So please forgive me.
Tekken is like Soul Calibur, but less fun.
Pretty much. I think that like this is the character I found. Like I'm of the opinion that if this was and that you will notice this throughout my choices, but I'm of the opinion that if Sakurai were to announce a character today for each of these series, that I don't think he would pick characters that are already represented in other ways. That's my own personal opinion. So I don't think Heihachi is a possibility here. So the character that I found was Jin Kazama, who is apparently one of the main characters of Tekken. Again, I haven't really played Tekken, so I don't know. But Jin is who I researched and found would likely be a good
I think
good
he's
choice.
the protagonist for a bunch of the games.
I want to say he's Kazuya's son.
He is.
Perfect. So then they can add more father son duos.
I want to say there's one character I actually mean to pick, but for the meme, I just want to say one other one and then actually talk about the one I care about. Is that okay?
Sure.
I think that's
Okay.
totally fine.
The joke one is Kuma because it's a bear, and who doesn't want a giant bear other than Banjo beating up people? But the real one I would pick is Yoshimitsu, just because then you have him representing Tekken, and you could also potentially have a skin of him in one of the Soul Calibur ones.
I think that's a good choice.
I did not know Yoshimitsu was a Tekken character first.
Yeah, he
He was.
technically is a Tekken character, yeah. We're on to the next one. So we're at Minecraft.
Oh,
Gino and Joe, you're in charge. You can decide who wants to go first. Or...
Gino, go for it.
Well, before we got into this here, I was thinking about like some of the things that I could mention for this specific franchise. I love Minecraft. I'm gonna plug the Minecraft Let's Play with me, Adriano, and Sarah, and sometimes Giancarlo here as a card. I was thinking about this for a while, and there's a few different things that I would like to see added. On my little Word doc that I have made for Minecraft, I have Herobrine on here just for the lols, just because like Herobrine
the hell is
like, would
Herobrine?
be Herobrine is a meme character that the Minecraft community came up with in the early days. It's basically Steve without pupils. So it's just a Steve skin with completely white eyes. And apparently Herobrine would follow you around in your world and haunt you. It was kind of like a creepypasta kind of thing. And the Minecraft devs took a liking to this idea of Herobrine. So in every update, they removed Herobrine from the update. Like, for instance, like when Minecraft went from 1.0 to 1.1, they removed Herobrine. Then they went from 1.1 to 1.2, they removed Herobrine. And
Interesting.
the joke is Herobrine's in the game, no matter what they do. But I think it would be really cool to add a boss character. And I was thinking about this. Ender Dragon would be too big, but the Wither actually is roughly the player size and is a very aerial type of boss fight. It shoots giant skulls and stuff at you. It floats around. It has an explosion effect, and it has like a super mode in the latter half of the fight. So that would be a pretty cool kind of like it could like gauge power, or once the character gets beat up a little bit, then it could enter this like superpower state. It does self heal in the actual game, but I don't think self healing would be a good thing for Smash Bros. With games like Minecraft Story Mode and stuff like that. You also get other bosses like the Wither Storm, so it'd be nice to like reference those types of things.
Joe, did you also agree with the Wither?
No. So at first I was kind of debating saying something very generic like Minecraft pig, but I kind of wanted, or Minecraft cow. It's just, skins of each other. But I kind of actually want to go out there. I think instead of them actually introducing a new character per se, I honestly think kind of the same way like Steve has Alex. I think that this would be the opportunity to bring Master Chief into Smash Bros. As a Minecraft skin, because skins are incredibly important to Minecraft as a whole. It's basically a lot of people play Minecraft to mod. So I figured instead of making a character as a new introduction to the series, they would add Microsoft's arguably largest character, because it'd be the perfect opportunity to do so, and it would be Master Chief. In a perfect world, it would be an Echo Fighter, because then I had written down you could do Master Chief, Arbiter, Marcus Phoenix. You could literally do a Porsche car just for fun, just to represent Forza, Ori, and Cuphead. So in an ideal world, it'd be an Echo Fighter of basically Microsoft skins for a Minecraft character, a generic Steve sort of thing. But if I had to just pick the single one that basically, in a way, would be added as a costume, it'd be Master Chief.
Also, like a skin pack.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
that'd
because
be cool.
modding is so important.
I don't have any opinions on Minecraft. I don't know if Mateo or Riley, if you want to add to it.
For Minecraft, absolutely not.
Minecraft's like one of those series that like I'm kind of happy I didn't get to pick, because I would be scratching my head. So
Could I add an honorable mention? Actually, I thought of a really good one as we were just sitting here talking.
Yep.
Honorable mention for the Illagers, because they have like spellcasting abilities and stuff, and there's like 4 different types of them that all do different things. So the Illager as a fighter would be pretty cool.
I think we can move forward to ARMS then. And Mateo and Joe, I believe you two have the floor for ARMS.
okay, I will start. So we had our Smash Bros. Character prediction sheet, and the first character I picked was Springman, and Springman was the character that they really marketed. He was on the box art. He's the main character supposedly, and then Min Min was added as the DLC character representing ARMS because she won the ARMS in-game fighting tournament. But I think now, if they're not going to go the route of picking the quote-unquote mascot character, one of the most unique characters in ARMS actually is Twintel. And I think Twintel would be a good addition for Smash Bros. Because first of all, she uses her hair as like the arms that she would punch with, but she also then has 4 limbs that she can do stuff with too. So for
Should be
in
very
terms of-
different, you know?
yeah, and also it adds another female character to the roster, which Smash Bros doesn't have very many of. So as like a good diversity pick in terms of fighting style and for actual character representation, Twintel would be a really good pick. So that would be my pick from ARMS.
All right. So I actually think the opposite. I think it would be Springman, because I think if ARMS came out, a few years earlier, it would have been Springman as a new character. I only think the reason why Springman wasn't the character in the DLC pass was basically literally for the fact that he was an assist trophy, and you're removing an assist trophy. So it's kind of like they almost stepped on their own toes there, because of course they wouldn't want to remove an assist trophy to make it a character. But in general, like I feel Smash is super important to have basically the face of the series be part of it. And I actually almost feel like it's somewhat it hurts ARMS by not having Springman in there. Although I agree, Midman's really cool.
Base of the series is there. It's the ARMS.
The face is the ARMS? No, I think basically that it was, my opinion, it was a misstep to not have Springman, but I understand why they couldn't have had Springman. Like, basically, in my opinion, Min was the second choice. So I would still say Springman.
So we're ready to move on to King of Fighters. Joe and Gino, you have the floor.
Oh, jeez.
Joe, do you want to start off with this one? Because like I'm not too confident.
Sure. So neither of us really knew, because we spoke before this about King of Fighters enough, because neither of us, I haven't played it. Gino, have you played it?
Nope.
No.
This is more
So,
Yako's domain.
It's Yako's domain. So we consulted with Yako because that was really the only thing we could do. Like I was even reading through like the character names, and honestly, half of them I can't even pronounce. But the one Yako said was Geese. That is basically who I am going with, just from listening to him as my source and him saying this would be the most likely character. That's all I can contribute.
Yeah. And like I'm actually looking at a list of King of Fighters villains right now. And Joe, Geese is on the list.
Wonderful.
Geese killed Terry's father in the games, so like he's the main
Done.
villain. That's all I know about him. Well, I'm going to pull the rug out of King of Fighters here because I don't think anyone else has anything to say about it. And now for the series that everyone wants, another character to represent, Banjo-Kazooie. And Joe, I will let you speak first for Banjo
No, I
Kazooie.
can't. I
You
can't.
can't.
No, I'm not qualified. Mateo, it's yours to speak first.
Well then, as it's been stated, I think villain representation is very important in Smash Bros. And obviously, I think the next character, without question, to represent Banjo Kazooie would be Grunty. Moveset potential for Grunty is actually pretty good. Her final smash can be the big drill that she had in Banjo Tooie. That would be cool. She could be an aerial character because she can fly around on her broom. She can throw spells. Like she can whack people with the broom. Like Grunty would be hilarious if they had like a Palutena's guidance type thing with her, where like she can make rhymes about each character. That'd be really funny.
Oh, that'd
Just
be
the
hilarious.
sound she makes would be hilarious. Like you can have the top of Grunty's lair be the stage, yeah, and have that amazing music, the final battle music from Banjo Kazooie be there. Yeah, Grunty to me, like she's an iconic villain of the Nintendo 64 era, so I would pick Grunty for sure to represent Banjo.
Yeah, and that's very easy for me because that's who I had written down too. Could you just actually imagine them revealing Grunty like the same way that first they did K. Rool, then they did Banjo, and then they do Grunty? It just would make sense.
Mhm.
It'd be awesome.
Bayonetta's also a witch. Could be like
Oh my god.
Another witch.
Which, that's funny. I know I'm not part of this one, but I think there's a villain slash hero that could have been
Hero
character
Klungo
here.
needs to save to universe.
Hero Congo.
Hero Klungo, save to universe.
Okay, Banjo Kazooie. We're now on to Dragon Quest. You know, and I both have some minor knowledge of Dragon Quest, but it's very limited. So we'll do our best with this one.
I'd like to start off with this one here. And I think that I kind of want to go in the like WTF kind of direction because Dragon Quest itself is a series that's very like full of jokes and silly things. I personally would like to see like more of like a fun character in this, and I think the slime would be very interesting to see as a playable fighter for this. Kind of like how we got Piranha Plant, but like having the slime and it could go into like the metal slime or it could go into like a slime warrior, things like that. Like it can do different things. It can come, sorry, not a slime warrior, king slime. And I think it would just be really funny, like being able to like split into multiple characters and do like little bits of damage and then form up and make like one big king slime. I think that would be funny.
I actually agree with you. I wrote down Slime as well. I think Slime is very iconic to the series, and I don't know if having like a character from like one of the games really makes sense when like Hero covers like the heroes of all the other games. So I agree. So we're on to Persona. Nobody else is doing Persona with me. I'm the only one who's played Persona, so I'm just going to speak to it on my own. I went back and forth on this one because I was like, would they pick somebody from Persona 5 again? Would they do somebody else? Ultimately, I settled on I think they would present the game with somebody else. The character I picked is a character named Teddy. He's kind of like a mascot of Persona 4. He's like the Morgana of Persona 4. And I feel like that's the direction they would go, as I feel like they wouldn't pick just another human character. And I feel like the mascots are the next big thing to pick. And I think Persona 4 is a very important game in the series because it's really what kind of blew the series up, because Persona 4 is often regarded as one of the best in the series. So I think Teddy from Persona 4 would be that Persona character. On to Castlevania. Riley and I have this one covered. Me coming off of playing all the Castlevania games on GBA as well as Symphony of the Night and watching the show. Riley coming off of years of liking the series. So, do you want to start or do you want me to start, Riley?
You can take it. I think we probably could both would have said the same character. So
I have two characters, but I think we have the same two characters. I'm assuming you have two characters as well.
yeah,
Okay, why don't you say one of them?
technically I have three, and it's hard for me to decide on them. Two of them are already in the game in some form.
Yes, and those are the two that I have. So the two that are already in the game in some form are Alucard and Dracula, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like Alucard like makes the most sense to be next. Like Symphony of the Night is the most important Castlevania game, pretty much. And Alucard's the main character. He also reoccurs throughout the series. Like he's a big character. And then Dracula is like the most reoccurring element. He's the villain, right? Like, so I feel like those are the
Castlevania is his castle.
yeah, and I feel like those are the natural two, but then they are also represented in the game already. So who's your third?
The third one I would have picked was Hector. He could have
Mm.
been a summon-based hero using like night creatures and stuff.
I mean, I have a third one too. And I'm gonna keep this light. Like Riley, I know you know a little bit about this character, but I'm not gonna go into why I would pick this character. but the other character I think that would work is Soma Cruz.
Yeah.
And Soma Cruz is the main character of Aria of Sorrow for the Game Boy Advance. And there's a very specific reason I think that he would work very well as a representation of the series, but I'm not going to delve into that. So I'm going to leave that spoiler free.
I mean,
You know?
if we're being realistic, I think it would be between Dracula and Alucard, and I think
I do too.
probably of the two would be Alucard, but I think I'd rather see Dracula.
Yeah, I completely agree. Okay. Splatoon featuring Gino and Joe.
And Joe, you can take a start on this one.
Awesome. Okay. My pick is Judd and Lil Judd. And I think it'd be awesome to see this Splatoon cat duo fighting kind of like, Rosalina and Luma does. So, in my opinion, like the other characters you could pick would kind of be too similar to like the Inkling. So I think Judd and Lil Judd would be really cool and kind of a different dynamic to Splatoon. Because like they're prominent in the games too, right? So that would be my pick. Gino?
Yeah. See, I kind of went down the route of like we got to get some Echo Fighters and stuff in here also. And like Splatoon is a game that features lots of different weapons and different ways to splat your opponent. So I think that having the Octoling as like a separate Echo Fighter, but they use different weapons. Like for instance, instead of using the paint roller, they could use the paint brush. Or instead of using like the bucket, just say they could use the Brella. Things like that. Like the different weapons of Splatoon that like really take center stage in the games as well as some of the characters and stuff. So that's just my thought.
Okay, so we're on to Bayonetta. Bayonetta is another one that I did by myself. Is the only one who's played Bayonetta. This one I'm not going to focus a lot on. I don't think there's a lot of character potential in Bayonetta personally. Rodon would be cool, but he's also already an assist trophy. So the one I did go with was John. And is it John or Jean? I can't remember. I haven't played the games in so long. But anyway, she's like the other protagonist of Bayonetta. She would work very well as an Echo Fighter. She's the one in the red suit with like the white hair. Yeah, I don't really think there's really much else you could pick from Bayonetta other than Rodon and Jean. John, I can't remember. Unless you pick Enzo, but Enzo's literally just a short, fat Italian guy who just yells. So I don't think he's gonna work. But yeah, so that's Bayonetta. Now we're on to Final Fantasy with me and Gino. Now here's the thing, Gino. Technically, the series is Final Fantasy VII, not Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So I've picked something from Final Fantasy VII and something from Final Fantasy.
I think we should just stick with Final Fantasy VII because the only representation we have are Cloud and Sephiroth.
I'm still going to share my Final Fantasy one, but I'm just letting you know where I'm at.
Yeah, well, I have an idea also. If we're gonna if we would, but I think we should just leave it as like a passing comment, not as like, oh yeah,
No, the focus will be Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, Final Fantasy. If it's Final Fantasy VII, I feel like there's only two real choices here, and I think I'm gonna go with Barrett because he would provide something different. He's not a swordsman; he has gun hands, and that is cool.
I'm okay, so now I'm very interested because you said there's only two real choices, and then you said Barrett, who is not one of the two real choices I thought you were going to say.
I don't know anything about Final Fantasy VII, and I know Barrett's like definitely not the top two.
Yes.
It'd be Barrett or Tifa. And
Really?
Yeah.
You think Barrett or Tifa? See, I think the most obvious ones are Tifa or Aerith. And the one I went with is Aerith, because Aerith ultimately is pretty much the central figure of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
She's also probably one of the most populars.
But Aerith is
Popular.
also your white mage.
Yes, but she
You
fights
use Aerith to
too.
heal. You use
Yeah,
Aerith
but-
to heal.
She has dark mage potential too. Like she could that doesn't mean anything. Isabelle literally sits in a chair for her games, and they made a moveset, so I'm not really concerned.
That's true. But like a lot of the I'm thinking more from the original one, because I only played I think Final Fantasy VII until about disc 2, and I used Aerith strictly as a healer.
Sure,
Stuff.
but Final Fantasy VII also recognized has like enough. While characters are proficient in certain areas, like there's enough variety that you can actually alter their roles.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. Aerith is traditionally a white mage, but I don't necessarily think that means that she wouldn't work. I do think Aerith and Tifa make the most sense. The other one I had on here was Vincent, because Vincent is like he's had his own game, and he is a very fan favorite character. So he could also work. But definitely I was more focusing. I think Aerith was my choice. And no, I'm not disregarding yours. Like, I think Barrett's a great choice. I was just surprised when you were like, "There's only two," and then you said Barrett, and I was like, "Oh, well, then who's the other one?"
I'm saying Barrett or Tifa just because like they're the main two party members that you get really early on in the game,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure they're ones that people spent a lot of time with, and like and most recently with the remake, right? Like they are the two characters
Yeah,
that we spent like the majority of this with, unless you did the Yuffie DLC, right? So
yeah. And the thing is, like, the core characters of Final Fantasy VII, like the core party members, are at the end of the day Tifa, Barrett, and Aerith. But I think the love triangle between Aerith, Cloud, and Tifa is ultimately what always elevates Tifa and Aerith's importance to the game because they just
yeah,
have more interaction with the protagonist.
yeah,
But
that's
on
fair.
a different mode, just kind of like to end it, if they did go a different route and they said, "Hey, we're not going to add Final Fantasy VII characters, we're going to add somebody else," I do think that there's no question of who that would be, and it would be Tidus from Final Fantasy X. Because I don't know how much you guys know about Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy X characters and Final Fantasy X in general always wins fan polls from Square.
Yeah,
Always. More than Final Fantasy VII. Like, Final Fantasy X is actually their most highly regarded and popular game. And the only reason 7 competes with it is because 7 has so much more output than 10 does. But 10 is very, very beloved. And I do think that Tidus would naturally be the next character if they were to venture out of 7.
okay.
Okay. We are on Street Fighter, and Mateo and Riley have the floor.
Well, for Street Fighter, I think obviously Ryu and Ken are probably the two most iconic characters from Street Fighter, but another extremely iconic character that is from Street Fighter that isn't in Smash Bros. Is Chun Li. She has been in every Street Fighter game, and she's the main female character from Street Fighter. She's one of the core casts that everyone knows, or at least would probably say, "Okay, I know her. She's from Street Fighter at the very least." So like, she's my pick, and I think Yako would agree with that as well as being like a Street Fighter expert. He'd probably agree that Chun Li is at least a very recognizable character and a good choice to be added to Smash Bros.
I'm torn between picking the villain and picking another like popular character. I think it could either be M Bison because he's the it's I don't know. I like it when Smash has the villains for the respective series. In general, villains I always like villains better than heroes. But so yeah, either M Bison or I think it could have been cool if they added Zangief.
Hmm.
I think Zangief has brand recognition as well.
Mm-hmm.
I have a
Yeah.
question though. I don't know that much about Street Fighter, but you think they would do M Bison instead of Akuma?
Ooh,
I know
the problem
Yako
with
really likes
Akuma is
Akuma.
Akuma. I mean, Akuma and Ken and Ryu all have like that same fighting style. Like they're all I forget the term for it, but they all have that fighting style.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I
Okay.
guess it could be Akuma, but also like if we're going that route. I think it could have also been Sagat because he also
Mm.
shares that sort of same
Yeah.
play style.
Okay. Well, now Riley. You're continuing in the next one, which is Xenoblade.
Which I know very little, like not nearly as much as you do. So I'll let you
Okay.
take the floor.
You can start. I just want to hear what you would say.
I did a
Unfiltered.
bare amount. I remember your like I've only played what like a third of the first game, and I did a bit of research going into this, and I know your explanation about the plots. The second one's a little bit more hazy for me. The first one I have is more vivid in my mind. From what I read, someone who seemed really cool and could be interesting is Jin.
Yeah, Jin could. That's cool because Jin is technically one of the main characters of Torna, if not the main character of Torna. So that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, the other one I was possibly thinking is Fiora, but she's also already Shulk's
Hmm.
in Shulk's Final Smash.
Yeah. Well, see, that's interesting because my mode of thinking was very different than this. So I think Jin would be cool because he represents Torna. Xenoblade 1 character I think that would work is Melia because she represents the future connected storyline that they added at the end of Xenoblade 1 Definitive Edition. But I do think that the character they would add is Elma, who is the main character of Xenoblade X, just to kind of round out and represent one from each of the games. And while Xenoblade X is somewhat controversial, Elma as a character is often seen as one of the best parts of that game. So I do think that she would probably end up being the third character. Okay, well, we're on to a series with its many storied characters to pull from. Pac-Man. Joe and Riley, you have the floor.
That fairy who's in the stage for Pac-Land. There we go. I'm done.
Wonderful.
Do you agree, Joe? Are we good?
No, no, it's got to be the ghosts because just to make
Yeah.
sense, and you already have the costumes and everything. It's just a ghost. That's it.
Now I have a
Yeah.
question for you guys. Is like Pac-Man himself represents a lot of other like classic Namco in his moveset. Do you not think they could just like pull like Dig Dug or like Mappy as the next character?
You know, if they
No.
wanted to, sure, I'd be down for Dig Dug.
No, I think like the next best
Big
thing
Doug would
after
just
the
inflate
ghost.
enemies to death.
Yeah.
That would
I
be
think
so
it'd really be
cool.
the
That would be
pellets. The pellets could be a playable character in Smash.
Great discussion. Let's move on.
Okay. We move on from Pac-Man up to Punch-Out, which will feature myself and Mateo. Mateo, do you want to start this one? Yeah.
Jules, I remember a conversation we had before this. We were talking about Punch-Out. We have very different ideas of where they could go with this. I personally think there's only one non-problematic character that they could add from Punch-Out, and that would be King Hippo, the main villain of the series, who is kind of an iconic character from the NES era because Punch-Out was a huge game that come out on the NES and in arcades, and like he doesn't have really a stereotype associated with him. And also, like I said, with being the main villain, it has that notoriety, that extra thing that would draw me towards that. So I would put King Hippo.
I do think King Hippo is definitely one of the options. I didn't realize Doc Lewis was problematic. I didn't think he was, so I had him as mine. And I guess we could just leave it at that. Like
I meant like
I don't know what the
problematic in the sense where like I know he doesn't do anything in Punch Out. Like I know like Captain
Yeah,
Falcon
like, he's
literally
just, like, a
drives the
token
car.
character.
Like he just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the thing is maybe this is their opportunity, right? To give Doc Lewis something to do.
You wouldn't pick Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, no
Yeah,
what?
I mean, they had to change him to Mr. Dream, but yeah, like Mike Tyson's awesome.
Mike Tyson still thinks he's involved in Punch Out in some regards. So
Mike Tyson solves mysteries. Never forget.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's true. Okay, so we're moving on to another very storied franchise. Joe gets all the ones with all the best characters. We Fit, featuring Joe and Gino.
Yep.
We fit. We fit.
We fit. We
There's
fit.
so much history in We Fit. Okay. Gino, do you want to go first?
Yes, I will, because there is one major character in We Fit that is your guide to the world of fitness. That is We Fit Board.
yeah,
And We Fit Board would not just be an idle stepping thing. It would be the character that jumps and cheers you on and uses its words and does push-ups and things as well. We Fit Board is got to be there because it jumps around and it shoots intelligent words at you, but it didn't like me very much because it called me obese. But I'm not fat.
Oh my god.
Is that his final smash?
Yeah, it destroys your self-confidence.
yeah.
And like literally, like it just this final smash is like they step onto it, and it's like your body mass is over average, and then the character literally just walks off the stage.
Oh my goodness. Can you imagine it'd be like We Fit Board takes the floor as its intro video? Gino, are you done with We Fit Board?
Yeah, I'm done with We Fit
Okay.
Board.
Okay. So theoretically, We Fit Board would have the largest chance, but I kind of want to do the, what the hell character, like what's going on here. So I'm gonna pick just from the fact that technically it's in We Fit, but like the screen you have to press OK on and make sure that you have the wrist strap on, like
Yeah.
the guy that's doing like the
Safety silhouette dude.
stretching around, the silhouette dude. I'm gonna pick silhouette dude to
Yeah.
represent We Fit because even though they barely use the wrist strap or the Wiimote, still it's I don't know, better than a board. But mind you,
Yeah.
the board could be cool. But could you imagine its final smash should be like doing a spin and it just chucks Wii remotes everywhere with the strap breaking?
Oh my
That'd be
God.
awesome.
That's hilarious.
But that would imply that Nintendo built a product that didn't meet certain quality standards.
Pretty much. Then at
Yeah,
that point, we may as
well,
well just have Joy-Con
Hey.
drift for Smash.
The N64 controller stick.
Destroys children's hands.
Burning Hand for Smash.
That's how you defeat Master Hand in the first game.
The first Smash Bros.
Yeah. If you could
The
be like
secret.
the actual like the thumbstick, and
That'd
you
be
just you
freaking-
jump into the hand, it's instant death.
Okay, so moving on to Mega Man.
What Mega Man?
What Mega Man? Mega Man Wowie.
That's a
Riley?
good question.
Dead a good. Who from what Mega Man? Did a good question. Um,
Who from what Mega? Too many. And given that my favorite character and best character in Mega Man is already in Smash as a Mii costume, as a character, I'd say Zero because then it represents the X timeline and all the Mega Man Zero games and all that. Who I'd want though is Dr. Light.
oh my god. I also have Zero written down. Although I would be down for somebody like Base.
Base, Proto Man, Mega Man, they're all fairly
They're all the
similar.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all from
Proto
the
Man's
same.
best, but
Yeah.
don't you want to see Dr. Light throwing shit at people?
Not to
Got a
stereotype
good
Mega
question.
Man characters, but they're all the same.
Hey, Zero at least has a sword.
No, Zero's different. Zero's different.
Oh, you're talking base like
I'm
Mega
talking
Man
Base,
Classic?
Mega Man, and like Proto Man.
And if you add Dr. Light to Smash Bros, you can have the amazing voice acting that was in Mega Man 8.
Okay. Well, I think then we're kind of in agreement here. So unless anybody else has anything to say about Mega Man, we can probably move forward. Animal Crossing, Chino and Joe.
I really think that Rossetti would be a great addition because Villager and Isabelle are more like cutesy and nice and all that stuff. Rossetti can use his rage and his pickaxe to like get people to save their games and like teach them about the importance of saving, because you don't want to reset. Don't reset. I thought that would be really funny just to have Rossetti in there yelling at you, swinging his pickaxe around, could like dive into the stage and kind of like dig around and things and be a mole. So
Now, my question before Joe answers is: would Rossetti make it into Smash when Rossetti wasn't even in the newest Animal Crossing game?
we don't know that yet. The DLC is coming out.
That's true. Bring back Rossetti.
I picked KK because I feel like it's just a natural progression for him to be the next one in Smash, and I just think it would be neat. He can use his what does he use? Guitar or is it ukulele?
Guitar.
He could use a guitar. Smash Villager and Isabelle over the head with it. I don't know. I think it'd be neat to have him in. His final Smash, I think, would be awesome. Just having him like
KK
sing.
smashing.
Yeah, KK Smashing. That's what it could be called. Exactly. Yeah, no, I think KK.
The cool thing that they could do with KK is like they could pull inspiration for moves out of all the different like album covers from I don't know how many songs they have of him in Smash Bros. They're even adding more of them in the Animal Crossing update.
KK driving, like his like side B could be
Drives a
him, like
car.
the car, like how Wario has his
He
bike.
just drives
KK
people.
would have the car.
Or it could be a
run.
I like it. I have no further thoughts on Animal Crossing if nobody else does.
Come on, V, have one. What do we got? Give us an opinion on Animal Crossing.
Wait, what about Anka? Anka seems popular these days.
Anka is very popular.
Oh god.
Anka and her viral video. Pikmin, Mateo and Joe.
So Pikmin was really hard to pick a character for.
Man.
Nope. Yeah, I knew you were gonna do that, Gino. So like,
Sorry.
it's kind of weird that Alf wasn't an Echo Fighter. He was just a costume. So like maybe they graduate Alf to be like an actual somewhat unique fighter or an Echo Fighter because like Rock Pikmin aren't even represented in the moveset, but Flying Pikmin are. So Alf maybe can use a Rock Pikmin. I really have no idea. I really like the Pikmin games, but like there isn't a clear-cut pick because there aren't a lot of potential characters that they could choose from. Like Louie, like they all do the same thing. The Pikmin are the moves, and everyone, all the player characters just use Pikmin. So like I don't know how they could use Pikmin differently. So for me, it's just like graduate Alf or bring Louie in. I don't know.
So see, this is where you don't use any of the Pikmin playable characters. Instead, you bring Bulborb. And you just have a little mini Bulborb going around the stage and
It's
eating
true.
people. And literally all it has to do is just open its mouth and just eat. And its final smash can literally just be like a rampage over hordes of Pikmin. And if you get caught in it,
Serious question though about Bulborb. When Bulborb
Yeah.
like KOs the character, like if he eats
Yeah.
Mario and Mario gets KO'd, does Mario's soul appear on the screen? Did you see his
Yes.
soul go
Yeah.
up?
That would be so unique. That would be awesome. But Bulwer might be too big for Smash, like Ridley was.
No such thing.
You know what? I'm very disappointed in Joe and Mateo right now. How
Me
did
too.
you not suggest
Our Lord and Savior.
our Lord and Savior, Peckish Aristocrab?
Oh no.
He comes.
Oh
Can you
no.
imagine that's it? Peckish Aristocrab comes. That's the splash.
I mean,
He
Oh
comes.
my goodness.
you know,
Like it could be anything. It could even be like the caps that you have to like pick up a certain amount of Pikmin to grab. Numbered cap joins the battle.
I mean, it could be the final boss of Pikmin 3 too. So, moving on from Pikmin, we got an interesting one, Mateo Gino. I'm excited to hear what you say. Sonic the Hedgehog.
the actual series
Ah.
that we can pick. There's multiple viable character selections from.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Mateo, I want you to take that to start off with this one, because then it'll determine what I will choose.
Well, Gino, get a load of this. I think
Oh yes.
Dr. Eggman is gonna be the next Sonic character for you to be added to Smash Bros. I really wanted Eggman to be added to Ultimate because I think out of all the series in Smash Bros, I'd only have one character. I think Sonic is the one that, like, by far is the most deserving for a second. So I think, and no matter, like, Tails, I feel like would be very similar to Sonic. Like, they'd probably have the same
Don't
down.
talk shit about Tails.
I know he'd have like the same down special, and like he'd be a more aerial version of Sonic, and he could use gadgets or whatever. But like Eggman would be completely different because he can operate in his vehicle, and then like he could use other. He could bring out like egg robos, or he can like have a final smash that brings out the giant like egg mech thing that he uses in Sonic CD, or like honestly, Eggman would be fantastic. I don't want him fighting outside of his egg vehicle at all. Like he's got to be inside it the entire time, and like he can like get arms or something and punch and like grab people with like the giant like mecha tweezers that he uses to steal the Chaos Emeralds. Like he'd be really cool. I
Or you
think
could just get like the hammer.
Yeah.
The hammer.
like
Like
he'd
the
kinda
different
be like-
aspects of like the boss fights.
it'd be very similar to Bowser Jr. Like at least some elements would be very similar to Bowser Jr., but I think he'd be really unique at the same time. Like it'd be a fantastic character. And then the quotes, just like they should just straight up like take dialogue out of Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 and just put them in there as the dialogue. Like get a load of this. You're not
Not
gonna
getting away with
Yeah,
this.
like, he's got so many awesome lines from those games that they could put in. Sonic needs another rep. I don't care who it is, just like anyone.
I was thinking more for Fistman, the red hedgehog, or unlike Sonic, he don't chuckle. He'd rather
Fistman.
flex his muscle.
But Fistman's also an assist trophy in this game, right?
I don't think Knuckles was.
Yeah, he
Was
was. Yep.
Oh, and never mind then. Metal Sonic, that'd be cool. It would kind of operate like an Echo Fighter. He wouldn't
Ooh.
be as fast, but he would have like more beam attacks and stuff instead of just doing like the swirly punch. And Metal Sonic is also another villain choice, kind of similar to like what one of the egg robos and stuff would be, right?
Yeah. So now, Jules, tell us
that'd be
why
cool.
we're wrong and why Shadow should be the Sonic character.
I don't. I like Shadow is the second most popular character, but
Sonic
I
is
do
also
agree.
Shadow
Eggman.
is also an assist trophy.
That is true.
He is. Yep. But I do think that it makes sense for Eggman. Like Eggman is the Bowser to Sonic's Mario, right?
He's
like,
one of the most iconic villains in video games.
yeah, he's like King K. Rool. He's like way bigger than King K. Rool, but he's like one of those classic villains. Like I just feel like he does in his own right deserve to be there, right? Like just to represent the rival. Right? Like Sephiroth himself didn't necessarily deserve to be in Smash, but the conflict between Cloud and Sephiroth deserved to be represented in Smash. The same way that I think Sonic and Eggman's conflict deserves to be represented. Oh, systems, full power. Riley, ready
Yup.
for Metal Gear?
Metal Gear.
Riley and I are paired in a lot of series, and this is another one. Riley's our Metal Gear expert, so I'm going to start this one so that you can say what you want to say. But I have written down the very vanilla choice of Raiden.
Thought you might.
I just feel like it makes the most sense, although there are other characters I would want to do. I was just like, realistically, I see it being Raiden.
So here, going forward, my question is: do you think that Nintendo would reconsider their stance on the gun thing because they did let Joker in?
I don't know.
that's DLC, then like yes.
Yeah, DLC is a little different. I do think it also depends on how they portray the character
So-
using the guns, right? Like Joker and Bayonetta use them very wacky.
So like
So
Revolver Ocelot. Revolver Ocelot is kind of wacky with
they're,
all
they're
his spinning.
wacky. Yeah, he's pretty wacky.
So then, yeah, like I think it'd be cool for Psycho Mantis, but he wouldn't get in because he's not popular enough. I think it'd be between Big Boss and Ocelot, because Ocelot could have his own moveset, which would be cool. And
Mhm.
then Big Boss, I feel they'd have the opportunity to make Snake how I've always wanted him in Smash, where they can emphasize him actually like using a knife and doing more stealthy things, or even some firearms.
See, I
Portray
agree.
him as-
Like, I would love Ocelot or Big Boss.
Yeah, because I feel like despite them being Snake being a clone of Big Boss, they have very different personalities. I think they can reflect that in the fighting styles.
Yeah, that could be cool. Echo only in model.
Exactly.
I think Ocelot, like, to represent like a villainous or a conflict from the series works, but I don't know if he's big enough. Like, I feel like he's never marketed very big as opposed to the other like antagonists in the series who are marketed more heavily.
Well, I mean, debatable. Some of the villains aren't marketed that much. Like Staldis is marketed okay, but it's not like Volgan was marketed that much, or Skullface.
Fair. I forget about Skullface.
There's a
Exactly.
villain named Skullface.
There's a villain named
Yeah.
Skullface. Spoilers. I don't know if anyone cares. Spoiler alert ahead for Metal Gear stuff, not fully, but like to be fair, Ocelot was even if he wasn't the primary antagonist, he was an antagonist. He's
Throughout the
primary
series.
for one game, and then the secondary antagonist who was manipulating everything for two of them.
Yeah, exactly. So he was, yeah, he is definitely one of the most important characters of that series. I just feel like it's not at the forefront. But I would love him. You know, he's my favorite character, so I
Yeah.
would be so
And
down.
as to what you said about Ryan, I'd be down for Ryan if Gray Fox was an alternate, like a skin.
That would be cool.
But otherwise, I'd want Big Boss.
Okay, cool. We're on to Warioware, featuring me and Joe. And Joe, we can't feature any of the DIY characters from my DIY Warioware games, unfortunately.
Thankfully, I was not going to suggest one.
Yeah, no, let's never speak of those again now.
Okay,
Do you want to go first?
sure. I'll make it short and sweet. I think it would be Ashley, because I don't know. I just like Ashley. I thought maybe it would be Dr. Kryborg's granddaughter. Is her name Penny?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought maybe Penny, but I think I want to double down and say Ashley, even though I know she is.
Yeah.
She's been in
Ashley's-
this trophy before.
She's like
And-
Discount Raven.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
I like Ashley. So I'm just
I know,
picking
I'm
it because I like Ashley. Yeah.
Actually, you bring up Penny is very interesting too, because Penny and Ashley both share the like fan favorite kind of appeal, because even in the like latest one and Get It Together, like they really make a big deal about Penny coming in near the end. Like it's one of the characters at the end, because and like they give her own like you can only play as Penny in Penny stages, because they're like it's a big deal Penny's here, because she became a fan favorite pretty quick. But like part of me wants to say like Mona, because she's the natural next pick, but the other person in me is like, what does everybody like? Let's be real. Most people when they pick up WarioWare are only thinking about one thing and one thing only, and that's the 9-volt games.
Yep.
And I think having a tag team of 9-volt and 18-volt just using a bunch of different stuff from Nintendo would be really fun.
That's what I was thinking, honestly. If I were to pick a WarioWare character, that's who I would pick.
It would
That
just be
will-
so self-referential, and then it transcends WarioWare, because I feel like the problem with WarioWare is it doesn't really have like the appeal to warrant a second character, but I feel like with 9-volt, the appeal doesn't need to be on WarioWare. The appeal can be on using WarioWare to represent Nintendo even more.
Mhm.
You can even have a trios tag team of having 5-volt.
9-volt.
There
Oh, yeah,
too.
5-volt. People do love 5-volt. She could be the final smash. Let's keep 13 amp out of here, though. 13 amp's pretty lame.
What a
okay.
crazy name for characters.
Yeah, no, right? Okay, WarioWare is done. We're on to Kid Icarus, featuring myself and Mateo. Mateo, do you have?
I will let you go first. Yeah.
Mine's vanilla. Mine's very vanilla. So I think actually this one I thought about it a lot, because I'm like, there's actually a lot of characters from Kid Icarus that could potentially be a fourth character from that game. But I do feel like Medusa makes the most sense. Like she is the primary antagonist. of the original, and then also serves as the primary antagonist of the first arc of Uprising. But I do acknowledge that there's like at least 3 other characters I think that could work.
Yeah. Like I thought of Medusa, but then I'm like, well, in terms of like fan favorite characters, I feel like a lot of people think like Viridi is one of the best characters. She for sure was one of my favorite characters in Uprising. I think she was probably one of the best written characters in Uprising. And she also could have like not as like her moveset would be similar to Palutena's, and because like she's also a goddess and she can have like really powerful attacks. But I think that Palutena to me is just she's very bland. She's very like she doesn't have a lot of personality like Viridi does. And I just find that like Viridi would have a lot of like the character in the world of Smash Bros. I think she would have a lot of fun. And like when it even in like the Palutena's guidance, when Viridi comes in for those are the best ones because like she is just a fantastic character. So I think my selfish pick would be Viridi, and I know a lot of people would say Medusa as well, but like
I think Viridi warrants it though.
I like Viridi as a choice.
yeah, but like let's be real though, I think Dark Pit honestly could just be like don't add a 4th character, just make Dark Pit his own character that isn't a clone of Pit, and give him way different like weapons from Kid Icarus Uprising. Like he shouldn't have the exact same moveset Pit has.
I don't know how much I agree with reworks personally, but like that also is an option.
What about Human Club Guy?
Magnus?
Yeah.
Magnus, the character that everyone thought would be a bigger deal than he was, but like is barely in the game.
Yeah, I thought about him too, and I thought of Hades, but ultimately, I think Medusa and Viridi make most sense because Medusa's like she's like the grandfathered in character, like and Viridi's like the fan favorite.
Get Eggplant Wizard in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, we're on to retro Nintendo now. So kind of like Mateo mentioned before, like we like Duck Hunt and Ice Climbers and Game and Watch and stuff aren't really. I know we did Wii Fit, but like these ones at least fit together. There's clearly a trend with retro Nintendo, so we made it its own thing, and this is where Game and Watch was introduced. We're getting
Yeah.
to that point. So retro Nintendo. What do you think, Mateo and Joe? Where are we going with retro?
Like I consider for this character to be like anything from the NES era or arcade. Like that is my window. Like I didn't do anything after that. And I think I didn't even consider this character at all until the Grinch leak happened. And honestly, I expressed I think in previous podcasts how disappointed I was when the Grinch leak got deconfirmed because I thought that was it for Banjo. But the character I was really hyped about that was included in Grinch leak was Mock Rider. I think it'd be like a vehicle-based character like Bowser Jr. I think would work perfectly. Like, cause that's what I really like about Bowser Jr. He's like the reliance the character has on their vehicle. That's their like, but like Mock Rider can be fast because he's on his motorcycle. Can have projectiles, like and yeah, like their guns on this bike. But like Nintendo can completely Sakurai or whoever is working on the game or whatever can completely reinvent this character. Like if you knock the character off the bike somehow, that's it. When you get in Mock Rider, when you fall off your bike, that's the game. So I just feel like add some really cool abilities, like a grappling hook might be cool, or just like whatever, drop oil on the ground. I don't know. Like the one song from Mock Rider is fantastic.
It would be so cool if like you just said, like when you fall off the bike, like that's it. If they included Mock Rider, but they programmed it so when like a killing blow is landed on you, he falls off the bike, and what gets launched is actually the bike, and then he just like disappears.
I want a character that doesn't have a lot of source material or something like that. Developers can have the luxury of just like basically working with a blank slate.
I picked the Power Glove. I want the Power Glove to be in Smash as a playable character, and it would just walk on its fingers. It would just be able to just, I don't know, do random things. Like it could, I don't know.
Can it be a stand-in?
Extend.
Can it stand in for Master Hand? This is like the Master Hand character is the Power Glove.
Like maybe that's how it gets unlocked. It is like it's a special variation of Master Hand that you only see after playing 50 hours, like the old melee rules of unlocking characters. Yeah, I don't know. I thought Power Glove would just kind of be like a cool sort of like, tip of the hat, nod of the head to Nintendo's past.
No Takamaru, eh? But Gino, are you ready for Fire Emblem?
Yes,
Which
I gave
generic anime swordsman are we adding?
We're not adding a generic anime swordsman because we're adding the axe user. I want
A
Hector.
generic anime axe user.
He's not generic. Hector is great.
Now, but do you think so? Like Hector obviously is a great character, but do you genuinely think Hector would be the next character they add?
Well, I think that they need to like add more variety because they just use like the generic sword wielder from every single Fire Emblem game that's been in there. Think about it. All of them are sword wielders. Even Robin uses a sword, and Robin's a spellcaster. And a lot of the Fire Emblem characters are also very like lightweight. Hector could be like a heavy axe wielder, or they could even use like Edelgard. Just say, like I
Yeah.
don't know, like it would like
That's fair.
I say Hector because I want something different than just here's my sword
But I'm going to challenge you again.
and countering.
So I'm going to challenge you again, though. I know you want Hector, but who do you realistically think they would add if Sakurai like said today we're adding another Fire Emblem character? Like, do you realistically think it's Hector?
That would be my selfish choice. I would want a mage or something, maybe Tharja from Awakening.
Yeah, that's true.
She's my
She's very
favorite.
popular.
Yeah, and it would be a magic, and she'd be a full-on magic user.
See, I thought about this a lot, and I was like in the same kind of area where I'm like, well, the thing is with Fire Emblem is they often add the like latest Lord / Avatar, and in this case, this would be the only case where there isn't a latest Lord / Avatar because it's being added now. So where would they go? And I thought like, okay, fan favorite like Tharja makes sense, or variety like something like Hector. But then I thought about, I'm like, but realistically, as with all Fire Emblem announcements, it would probably be exactly what we don't necessarily want. And I think they can make a cool thing out of this, but I think it would be Kieran, who is the main character of Fire Emblem Heroes, the mobile game.
I could see that.
Oh, I thought you were
And-
gonna go with like the familiar face.
No, I think it would be. I think if they were going to add one today, I don't think they would add another Three Houses character because I think the three lords were represented quite well through Byleth. And I do think it would be Kieran. And I think they could have some fun with Kieran because Fire Emblem Heroes is all about summoning heroes from the series. So it could be cool if they use Kieran as a way to represent a lot of the series, like have him / her. I can't remember if the gender is defined or if Kieran's just an avatar. But like either summon other heroes in their moveset or like use the weapons of other heroes in their moveset and use that character as more of a representation of the series rather than as just Kieran. But that's who I
I can't remember if
realistically
that.
think. Fire Emblem
What about
Heroes makes hella muns. Like Fire Emblem Heroes is a
A lot of
vehicle,
money.
and I can see them including Kieran. Do you guys have any thoughts?
No, but you kind of said what I wanted to say about like they always just add the most recent like character they want to market in the next game. So
Heck, that's how Fire Emblem even started in Smash because they wanted to market freaking Roy.
Moving forward, we have F-Zero. We're finally at Smash 64. We're winding down. F-Zero, Mateo and Riley.
Riley, would you like to go first?
Sure. I know Mateo is the bigger fan here. I think the obvious choice would be Black Shadow, but I don't know. I guess they could also do Goro. I prefer Black Shadow though. Mateo.
That's literally all they could do. I think. I don't care about really anyone. Like F-Zero, your character doesn't really matter. It's all about the vehicles. So like unless they create a game in which Captain Falcon can operate outside of the F-Zero tournament or do like and create actual characters that we know can do stuff that aren't tied into their vehicle, that's where they should go. But like we're never going to get another F-Zero game, and based on what we already have, there's not much you can pull from. We said there's nothing in Pikmin. There's even less in F-Zero. So like Goro is just a guy with a sword. Like
Biorex.
like Sakurai created a moveset for Captain Falcon literally like out of nothing. Like that was completely like improvised. So like they could do it again, obviously, but just like I think it's impossible to say who the next character from F-Zero would be because like okay, Black Shadow's the villain, so that's literally the only thing that any other character has going for them. Goro's the rival. Like that's all you can say. So, and he
What
has
about what's the other one? Blood Falcon.
Blood Falcon is a palette swap for Captain Falcon already.
Yeah.
So that's literally all you can do with F-Zero. Nintendo doesn't love F-Zero enough to make it to make
A proper thing.
yeah.
I think
so-
Falcon has appeared in more Smash games than he has as an own series.
Yep.
He has.
Earthbound, Gino and Riley.
I really like the idea of having Klaus in the game
That's
because he's not really a Sai user. He has his mech suit and he has swords, and that would be pretty cool.
Okay, I
Um,
agree. That was one of my choices. The other two I'd have are Gigas, but that would be really, really hard to implement properly. And then Pooh could be cool.
I also had Pooh written down.
Nobody had Porky,
But
eh?
as an interesting, Porky is just
Porky
a whiny
sucks.
crybaby
Porky, I don't
that
even
gets-
think appears in
yeah.
Ultimate at all. Not even as like a spirit.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't really like Porky's character. He's just too.
Actually, you know what? I
frickin'
take it
whiny.
back. Let's get Buzz Buzz.
I was thinking even like maybe Duster because I really like Duster as a character in Mother 3.
Okay. Well, sounds like Earthbound's done. Now we get to the big ones. I feel like the next few are gonna have like a lot of opinions. So, Joe and Gino, you start us off with Nintendo's
Cash Cow.
not even cash cow, just their biggest franchise. Like it's literally the biggest multimedia franchise of all time. It's Pokemon. Like what?
Yep.
Where do you go with Pokemon? What realistically gets added as Pokemon? That's the thing. Is like there's tons that I think like could work, but like realistically, who do you think Sakurai would say is in the game if he was just gonna say, "Hey, today, there's another Pokemon? Who's it gonna be?"
I would say we have a water starter in Greninja. We have a fire starter in Charizard and the Pokemon trainer. I think it would be really
And
cool to have
Incineroar.
and Incineroar, yeah. I actually have like two, but I'd like to hear what Joe has to say before I say my second one. I think we could have a grass starter, and I would really like to see Rillaboom. I say Rillaboom, even though my heart wants Decidueye, because having a bow, like a ranged grass starter Pokemon would be really cool. Rillaboom realistically would be the next choice because it's the next starter, right? Like the more recent one.
Yeah, that makes sense. First, I'm going to start with who it's not, and it's not going to be Garbodor. So, who it most likely would be, in my opinion. So I had to throw it in there.
Yep.
I think Urshifu would be a sick fighter because Urshifu would be able to swap between like single strike and rapid strike. Also, it checks the box of being the latest gen Pokemon.
Mhm. That's a
And
good one.
I just really think he would fit. Like thinking about Urshifu, it just sounds like such a sick character that could be in Smash Bros. Like it would fit Smash perfectly.
Cool if you could start off as like Cub Fu and then evolve,
Yeah.
and the game knows like basically how you're playing. So like if you're playing like a really passive style, then it picks one style. If you're like really up close, and you get another one, and like the game somehow have that system in place where like it chooses which version of Urshifu you evolve into.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Urshifu actually would have the ability to be not just like throwing a Pokemon in there, but a Pokemon with actually a very unique system.
And Gino, you said you had a second one?
Yeah, I was thinking of a rival trainer to the Pokemon trainer that has 3 different starters.
Mm.
So it would be okay. It could be the Gen 2 starter, or it could be like May or something that'll have some combination of the Gen 3 starters or something like that. Or that's how we could get the Galar trainer, right? Where you could have like
Yeah.
Hop or something, or you could have the Gen 8 trainer.
With the 3 starters and like 3
Yeah.
different steps, kind of like the original Pokemon.
Yeah,
game?
like, and instead of ending with the fire starter, like you would end with the grass one. So that way you could have some balance, right? I
That'd
don't
be
know.
cool. I like.
Or even like the rival trainer from like it could be blue with like an Eevee.
I feel like Eevee is a missed opportunity. I know I wasn't on this one, but just kind of like you made me think of something, Gino, when you kept saying grass starter, and you're like, my heart says Decidueye, but like obviously they'd have to go with Rillaboom because he's the newest one. But remember, Legends Arceus is coming, and there's a good chance Decidueye has another form. So technically,
Ooh.
Decidueye might actually be the newest one.
Dream lives on.
Any other thoughts, Mateo? Riley, did you want to disagree with anybody?
I actually like all of those suggestions. I would just like if I had to pick one though, I would really want like another Pokemon trainer type character because then you can you can have 3 Pokemon instead of just 1 or whatever. So that would be my like easy answer. I think that would be the best one. Service as many fans as possible.
Okay, well, we're on to Star Fox. Riley and Mateo, you guys have this one.
All right. I think we're both in agreement on who it should be.
Yep. Absolutely.
Do you want to say it on the count of 3?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Leon.
Warpstone. Oh.
For real though, Crystal.
Absolutely.
I don't think there can be any argument against it.
Mhm.
She's the most important character who isn't. I mean, other than Andros and who
Peppy.
has been represented, other than Andros, but you can't really. I mean,
Peppy for the memes.
for the memes, yeah, but Peppy also would be. I don't know if I'd want
Yeah, I know.
Peppy or Slippy on the ground fighting. That'd be painful to watch.
Hey, Peppy is a super senior.
Slippy would be constantly asking for help, but there's no one there to help him because Fox
Slippy
is
would
beating
just-
the crap out of him.
Slippy would be the only character that would have brawl tripping built into the character.
Well, if you just had Landmaster as a character.
That's what I was about to say. You guys are missing the real meme of Landmaster.
I think, actually being serious though, because other than Crystal and because Andros can't be used, I think it could be cool to have Pigma. But people think Pigma's a meme, but he has a pretty big bearing on the story.
He does.
James McLeod alt for Fox. Just Fox with glasses.
Just give him glasses.
Yep.
Hey, that's the F-Zero character we could use. I'm pretty sure James McLeod is in an F-Zero game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's good for Star Fox. So the next one we have is Kirby, and Mateo and Gino are going to be bring us through that one. So what do you guys got?
Like with many other series, like there isn't really much I think you can really do with Kirby. So just like give the people what they want. Just put Bandana Waddle Dee in the game and just like whatever. You have your character. Now we can just be quiet and think about other things. So
You have your character and just go away.
yeah.
So like use Bandana Waddle Dee as a bargaining chip.
Like I can concede on Bandana Waddle Dee. There's other characters I just cannot concede on.
Like Crackle.
Like in other series, not just Kirby, but Bandana Waddle Dee. Like Waddle Dees are very like iconic Kirby characters, but this is I guess the Waddle Dee because he's friends with
It
Kirby.
has a blue bandana. It's different.
Yeah, and he's got a spear. So I don't know.
Kirby doesn't need him.
Yeah,
That's different.
people want Bandana Waddle Dee for whatever reason. Just give it to them.
I do think that like Kirby is one of those series that like I don't know, like I'd like to hear what you say, Gino, but like I think Kirby is one of those ones where it's like I think it's pretty clear. Like I don't think there is
Like
somebody else.
my selfish pick for Kirby, if I had to pick one, because it's my favorite game, would be Adeline from Kirby 64. I think she'd be cool, like painting things, but like I just don't see how that could resonate with Smash Bros. She'd be running around like holding a canvas and a paintbrush and paint at the same time. Like I just don't see how that would work unless she's just standing still the entire time. Just but like I don't
Yeah.
know.
Wispy
I definitely had an idea for this one here, and I was thinking Marks or like not
But
Meta
he
Knight.
Smash Ultimate because he's already a boss, right?
I don't know. It just I thought that would be like a cool idea to like have like Marks coming in. But another thing that like a lot of people missed on, you could have the Squeak Squad. You could have Darosh. That would be cool. And you have like all the Squeaks doing things as well. That'd be interesting. Or like even Krakow Jr. Like there is
Fair
some
enough.
potential. Like you would need to like massage it a bit. But like this is also Sakurai's like
I feel like he abandoned this baby a long time ago. Sakurai walked out on this baby and found a new family.
Smash Bros is the new family. Yeah.
Yeah. Smash Bros was like so Kirby was like his first baby that he's like abandoned, and then Smash Bros was his baby that he was like, I don't really like this baby, and kept saying, I'm gonna abandon you, I'm gonna abandon you, I'm gonna abandon you. And now finally after Smash Ultimate, he's like, I'm proud of you, son.
I love you, son.
Whereas Kid Icarus is like the baby where he's like, you're my favorite from the beginning.
No, that's Fire Emblem.
Yeah, Fire Emblem was even his kid. Fire Emblem he just adopted.
Yeah.
Somebody else's kid.
Fire Emblem is
Randomly
like,
just
My child. He took a page from the dad in
King
Fire Emblem
Fates.
Fates.
yeah.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
my town,
son
though. We'll move forward from Kirby to Yoshi, which Mateo and Joe have.
With Yoshi, it's honestly, I'm surprised we've gone this long without having a second Yoshi rep. Like I said, like Sonic deserves another one, but like Yoshi, I think could easily get another one. And like I feel like you guys might be okay with this, but I feel like most people probably wouldn't be okay with this. And I've actually been on the bandwagon for these characters for a long time, and I think it would be cool to have like another ice climber like duo character with Baby Mario and Baby Luigi. Just make it work
Yeah.
somehow. I feel like it'd be really cool. Like they can use like the chain chomp from Double Dash, or they could have like some sort of pull in some sort of moves from Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. The crying literally could be an attack for them. I think that would be funny.
Now the question is, if they do that, would they inevitably have the Echo Fighter of Baby Daisy and Baby Rosalina?
Yes.
I mean,
Baby Wario and Baby Donkey Kong.
they
We don't need them because Baby Daisy and Baby Rosalina are the most canonical babies.
Yes.
they could do whatever they want if they give me Baby Mario and Baby Luigi as a playable character.
That's fair. Actually, when you were saying Baby Mario, so my initial thought was just like the old school, like Yoshi's Island with Baby Mario on top of Yoshi.
Mhm.
But that was just the same thing as Yoshi, so it doesn't change anything. Other than me, yeah, it actually doesn't change anything.
I mean, Yoshi can become a helicopter in that game.
True.
She could become a helicopter.
Helicopter Yoshi.
But because of the fact it just wouldn't change anything other than look cool, I picked Poochie.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, just be that dog just rolling around. Just I don't know. I just imagine him as a dog, but he's like a tank.
Yeah, he's
He basically is a landmaster dog.
he's invincible.
It's a landmaster dog.
Landmaster.
Y'all, Joe, you got to play Paper Mario Origami King because you will want Kamek after that.
Sure, Kamek too. Yeah, that's fair. But for now, Poochie. I like dogs.
Those are good choices, though. I think those are the most realistic choices. I feel like the reason Yoshi hasn't gotten a second character has nothing to do with Yoshi as a series not being important and more to do with the characters that it has to offer are pretty just like Baby Mario and Baby Luigi would be cool, and so would Poochie. But like in terms of their recognizability, like I just feel like they're not very hype worthy.
I love how though I'm like, get these dumb babies out of my Mario spin-off games, but put them in Smash Bros.
Yeah. But Baby Mario and Baby Luigi have so much history, right? Like they're different than just the random babies they made up for Mario Kart.
Nintendo might not like the
Medals.
optics of beating up children though. So mind you,
It's true. I forgot about that.
beating up children. Like there are children in Smash Bros. Like playable characters.
That's true.
But
Ness.
babies
Yeah,
though,
Ness.
I think that's another level.
You've just
Just because
sold me
Joel
on
doesn't like
Baby
babies.
Mario and Baby Luigi.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Okay. Metroid,
Ooh, okay.
which coming off of, I know Riley just finished Metroid Dread. We all just finished Metroid Dread, but I know Riley like literally finished it right
Before
before
we
we
started
started
the podcast.
recording the podcast. So, Mateo and Riley are taking on Metroid.
I know the popular pick is now because of Dread going to be the character they introduced in Dread, but I feel like said character isn't new enough. He's cool. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's new enough. So without the memes, I genuinely like. I don't know how it would work, but I want Mother Brain, maybe not playable, but like as a Pokemon trainer thing in the background, and then play as a space pirate.
2 Space Pirates.
Sure, 2 space pirates. Like I want space pirate representation.
Weevil is a space pirate from Metroid Prime
Also
Hunters.
Weevil, yeah, Weevil, Silex also work, but
Well, actually,
He's not a space pirate.
I know, but I know.
well, speaking of
Best
Silex,
characters.
and the fact that Metroid Prime 4 exists and will be released at some point, I think Silex will probably have a big role in that game. There's a few little hints towards that happening in other Metroid games, and I just think like the hunters were really cool in Metroid Prime Hunters, and Metroid is going to become this big series, I think now, or a bigger series than what it is because of Dread and Metroid Prime 4. So like I feel like Silex is a good option. He's the most notable of the hunters. and just like his armor is sick. I just think like these hints are there for a reason, and there have big plans for the character. So I just think that
Actually,
Yeah, they've actually said that
Yeah.
he is going to have a big role in Metroid Prime
Yeah,
4. Like,
okay.
actually, I rescind my statement. I realize that's my idea was silly, even though I like Mother Brain Space Pirates. And I actually am going to take back my statement about Dread. I actually, but not for. Can I say the name of the character? Not for the
yeah, go ahead.
character. So I don't think it would be Ravenbeak. Actually, I think the Emmy would be a cooler character than Ravenbeak. I also feel like because I think the Emmys are marketed more. They're the
Definitely.
like they've been marketed way more for Dread, and unless they did like Ravenbeak would be cool, but I think the Emmys would be a little bit more unique.
Yeah.
Listen, whatever character they add, all I want, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I want that final costume for Samus
Yeah, I know, me too.
in the game.
I after we're done this, I want to talk about that.
We'll talk about that.
Mhm.
But okay, those are good choices. But you guys forgot the Federation Force.
Yes.
You know
what about
what?
Federation Force?
Oh, what
There-
about what's her name? Kendrya?
Andrada.
Kendrada, that's it. Yep, there we go.
Maybe one day I will defend Metroid Prime Federation Force. Just not how you would think I would defend it. I had a good time with that game, but
I did too, because we played a multiplayer.
yeah. But that is all.
I don't know. You can also include Samus's other arch nemesis. We know Samus has two arch nemesis in the series. Two space pirates
And Ridley.
and the wasp enemies from the beginning of Metroid Prime 1.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Yep, good times. We are referring to Riley's playthroughs of the Metroid series. But
I'm still after having played Dread, nothing in Dread was as hard as two space pirates.
I know. Two Chozo warriors had a tough
They
time.
weren't that bad.
Okay, yeah, two space pirates is pretty rough. But moving forward from Metroid, we have three more left. So we have The Legend of Zelda, which me and Gino will be talking about. Gino, I'll let you take the floor first.
For The Legend of Zelda, actually, I wanted to think a little bit more outside of the box here, and I started thinking about the heroes that we play as in the Hyrule Warriors series. So I personally would like a non-human character. I would love a Goron fighter, whether it be like Darunia or Daruk or Darmani or something like one of the Gorons. Like just like to be able to play as a Goron. Like Gorons are my favorite like sub race in Zelda. I would love to play it as that. That's my selfish choice, but like my realistic take on this probably would be Impa, and I would really like to see. I would really like to see the Impa that we got in Hyrule Warriors 1, not so much Breath of the Wild, just because that one, like Impa in Breath of the Wild is more like ninja, kind of like Sheik, while I like the like the kind of like the big blade fighter that we got from the original Hyrule Warriors. Just I don't know why. I like that Impa better for whatever reason.
I have always been very on the fence about Impa as a character because I've always felt that Impa has always been on the fence as a character. Like she's never been that important, but she's also the most reoccurring character. So it's like I went back and forth, and then with this
She's
one, I
also
went back.
kind of represented by Sheik.
Yeah, and so I went back and forth with this one quite a bit because I was like, well, they could do like, for example, Girahim is big again because Skyward Sword HD and like, but then the more and more I thought about it, I'm like, but there's no reason that a one-off character should be there any more than any other one-off character. And the more and more I thought about it, the more and more I'm like, I think now more than ever, I think Impa is the character because Impa's popularity since even the beginning of Smash Ultimate has gotten bigger, right? Like she was featured in Skyward Sword heavily. She was featured in Breath of the Wild. She's featured in both Hyrule Warriors games in a significant way. The Age of Calamity one specifically received a lot of praise, and I actually disagree with you, Gino. I think taking the one from original Hyrule Warriors / Skyward Sword would be too Sheik like. Even though the weapons are different, I think that the one that is in Age of Calamity is so unique with what she does. Like she's Naruto, right? Like yes, she's a ninja, but all all the Sheikah are ninja. Like they're all ninja. So it doesn't matter whether you give her a Naginata or you don't. They're all ninjas. But what I like about Impa in Age of Calamity is she has this like magic and illusion based kind of style. So whereas like Sheik is kind of about using like weapons, I feel like Impa would be cool at using like illusions, like copying
Sheik doesn't
herself.
really. Well, Sheik really only has like a kunai. That's it, and like the needles and a small
And the
bomb.
bombs.
And jumping.
But like
fish.
most of Sheik's combat's all like fisticuffs.
Yes, but I think Impa. That's why I think Impa could work, especially if you use the Age of Calamity one. Is because the illusionary aspect of the ninja kind of thing would be cool, like copying herself and using like magic and teleporting around the stage and doing some like she could have some really cool
And that would really
move.
translate well into Smash Bros, especially with now basically since in Smash Wii U where they started adding like really unique elements to characters or to most characters that they've been introducing, where like Cloud has the limit break, Little Max got the KO punch, stuff like that. You could do that with specifically the version of Impa from Age of Calamity, where she puts like those
The
seals
glyphs.
or whatever the glyphs on the enemies, and then she gets a duplicate of herself. And then the more copies she has, or the more duplicates she has of herself on screen, the more damage she does. That'd be really cool.
It would be cool, and I think that like even just her physical design from Age of Calamity is so much more appealing than it's been in the series. I think that's the other thing that I always had against Impa is I felt like her design was always very bland and boring.
Yeah.
And like she was always treated as a side character, but I feel like starting with Skyward Sword, they really started treating Impa like an important part of Zelda. And
Yeah.
now I feel like now more than ever, I do feel like I'm like I can't justify as much as I want Skull Kid or Midna or Girahim. I can't justify them over Impa because Impa is very clearly
Yeah.
the next. Like, I don't think another Zelda character should get in until Impa's there. Well, we have two left, and they're both being done by Riley and Mateo. So you two can start with Donkey Kong, and you can end with Super Mario.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to pick a character that I think honestly should be in Smash Bros. Already, or I think actually is the front runner for Donkey Kong, and that's Dixie Kong, because Dixie Kong was actually planned to be like in Brawl. I think it was supposed to be a tag team thing with Diddy, similar to Ice Climbers. She was like one of the Forbidden Seven, whatever they call it, and then also like she wouldn't be an Echo, but she would use elements of Diddy's moveset, similar to how Isabelle uses elements of Villager's moveset, where like she would use the bubblegum gun instead of the peanut gun. She can fly with her hair instead of using the rocket barrel. So like and like she would have pretty much the same aerials as I could see as Diddy. Her side B would be basically the same as Diddy's. She could throw the banana peel, whatever. Like Dixie Kong would be the same character as Diddy except for a few moves. And then obviously like she was she was a playable character in what 3 or 4 of the Donkey Kong Country games, 5 Donkey Kong Country games. So including like she had her own game where she was the main character. So I just think, she's a really recognizable character in Donkey Kong Country, and I think, just for the fact that she has been playable, we've gotten K. Rool already. In terms of popularity and icon value, she's probably the next up. There is another character I think Riley probably will mention that could also take that
Yeah.
spot.
As everyone knows, the most recognizable character in the Donkey Kong franchise is Chunky. Okay, no, but for real, I think it'd be Cranky.
Yeah.
Not just because it's Cranky is cool and he's old and has a cane, but also because he's the original Donkey Kong and he'd also fit in as a retro character, really.
hmm
I think Cranky has been in maybe not more Donkey Kong Country games. He's only playable in one. I think he is featured in every single one of them. No, like he appears in every one of them.
I believe so,
And
yes.
I'm pretty sure he appears in pretty much most Donkey Kong games.
Yes.
in some form or another.
Yeah.
I feel like he more predominant in that
Hey,
in the series than
and
Dixie is.
and well, he definitely 100%. And also, like you said, you could pull elements from like his moveset could,
from classic Donkey Kong.
yeah. And also, Cranky Kong will be voiced by Fred Armisen in the upcoming Super Mario movie, so he will have, I'm sure, he'll gain a whole new audience just from that. So, so Cranky Kong, honestly, like it's a flip a coin for me between Cranky and Dixie Kong, but like we got King K. Rool. Anyone else is just like it's icing on the cake. So now we have the last series that'll also be done by Riley and I. I think it's without question who is the most deserving character to be in the Mario series. We're going to say the same one. As much as I love Paper Mario
Okay.
and hope Paper Mario is added in Smash Bros, but like, come
I don't
on.
think we need to justify it.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, we know, we all, everyone here, I'm sure most of our listeners would also know who this is.
yeah. So
Yeah.
It's the fact that he isn't in it at this point is an injustice. It's an affront to all of his fans.
yep,
Quite frankly, it sickens me to think about sometimes. It keeps me up at night.
yep.
I genuinely feel like after Ultimate, the only gap I feel, like the only character I feel is like really, really missing is Waluigi.
Oh, we're talking about Waluigi? I thought we were talking about Gino.
Oh,
No, screw Gino. We know how the hub world. You guys know how the hub world feels about Gino.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all about the WA.
It's got to be Waluigi.
Yeah.
The Wah.
yeah, But, yeah.
For Christ's sake, Waluigi's Mario Party 3 like enemy buddy got in before Waluigi. Like, how's that even possible?
Yeah, I can't talk about how thrilled I was about that.
Waluigi deserves to graduate from assist trophy status to playable fighter. Honestly, more so than any. Like, he's the most deserving character and to be added to Smash Bros. Period at this point. Like, at least first party wise.
Like I said, Waluigi feels like he's missing from this game, and it's literally the only thing that I will look at Ultimate and be like, it's the only thing missing. And I do think there were always arguments that were valid for why Waluigi shouldn't be in the game. I feel like Ultimate is the point where I'm like, all of those arguments are invalid because we're at a point now where we are literally scraping the bottom of the barrel for Nintendo characters. And Waluigi, while he's a side character, while he's a spin-off character, is way more iconic than anything you can pull from Nintendo, period, at this point.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Even
no
more
other
than the
character.
Goomba?
Even, like, okay, of course not more iconic than... I mean, like, as an actual character. And what
Yeah, no.
bothers me is that, like... And I will say this as a Xenoblade fan. I will say this as, like, a fan of, like, Fire Emblem. I'll say this as a fan of Pokemon. I genuinely, like... I like Pyra and Mithra. I don't think characters like Pyra and Mithra and Palutena and Byleth and things like that should have ever been considered before Waluigi. Because I think
that way before
Nintendo is very much... Like, I feel like Sakurai needs to recognize that Waluigi is important. Even just the marketing. Waluigi is marketable, right? So, I do think Waluigi will get his time in the sun, but
We're gonna get Toad before we get Waluigi.
that's the thing, is Toad is another big one. That would be nice. But, yeah, there's a lot of Mario characters.
Captain Toad.
Shut up. Shut up.
Cappy
and
T is great.
Well, we did it. We went through
Dang.
every series in Smash Bros. We didn't forget Animal Crossing this time, like we did with our very first episode of the Hub World podcast, where we forgot to say which Animal Crossing characters would be cut from Smash 6. But we went through everything. We got through it all. I'm very proud of us.
Make sure you're liking, subscribing, commenting if you have different opinions, want to hear something from us. We got some other stuff coming up soon. Look out for our Metroid stuff, probably going to come soon.
If you could add another character to Smash Bros. In any of your favorite series, let us know in the comments. Where did we mention your favorite ones, or did we leave anything out? Any glaring omissions? Do not say Gino. We will delete those comments.
Yep.
Yes, we will. Yeah, we no longer mention Gino, except now. And reminder, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Podcasts. Check us all out there. And Microsoft make a new Banjo game.
Yep. That's our new catchphrase, Joe and Riley. I don't know if you guys were here for when we made that.
I'm not gonna hop on that one.
And this, like I said, this catchphrase will stick around for 20, 30, 40 years, 100 years.
Yeah, true.
So
I'll die saying this will be on my tombstone.
Microsoft make a new
Here
Banjo
lies,
game.
here lies Jules making new Banjo game.
Grunty for Smash.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.